Hello and welcome back to Pro Evolution Soccer. We've got an amazing game for episode 50 in this save. Real Sociedad are coming to Villa Park and we are trailing from the first leg. However, results since then have been okay. We lost 4-3 to them in a wonderfully mental game in the Champions League knockout stages. 3 away goals to put us in a good position, but we are still losing by 1. Then we beat West Ham 1-0. Then we drew 2-2 with Watford and beat Fulham 1-0 as well. So not solid at the back. Not as many goals going forward, but it's all been pretty damn good. So the second leg of the game against Sociedad, we're at home. I'm hoping that we can turn the 1-goal deficit around and we can use that to our advantage. This is how we're going to line up. Not with you up front, sir. We're going to be playing Sergio Aguero when he's on that sort of form. And where is... let's see, Retsos is going to definitely come back in. Him and Tuanzebe at the back are an incredible partnership together. We're going to go risk it and put no goalkeeper on the bench. We're going to have Dybala's on the bench as well, obviously, for Dembele. Weghorst can come off and be replaced by Kimpembe. Or maybe Gundogan actually would be... well... we'll do Gundogan for Collins. I think that's how we're going to start this game. I'm tempted to bring in Dybala for Grealish. I mean, we could bring him for Havertz, but we're going to start ahead of Bale and get the chemistry. That's what we're going to go for. The team spirit of 95. There, it's going to be home kit v home kit, I think. We'll go a bit of random weather. Why not? Can you randomise that? Length of grass. No, we're at home. We want short grass. And we'll have a quick look at the strips. Can they play anything else? They've only got 2. Oh, let's put them in their weird grey kit. Yeah, that looks horrible. Let's put them in that. Right then, we'll be back to go through the lineups and the introductions in just a second. Hello and welcome to Villa Park. It's Aston Villa versus Real Sociedad in the Champions League. First knockout round, second leg. Real Sociedad bringing with them a 4-3 advantage from the first leg in Spain as we see the players walk out of the tunnel. A monumental game in Aston Villa's history under manager Cultured Left Foot. Real Sociedad have put themselves in a good position getting the win in the first leg. However, Aston Villa do have those 3 away goals to put them in a good position to try and get back into this game. A full stadium here at Villa Park as the players line up for the Champions League anthem, which plays in the background. Real Sociedad playing in their grey away kit with a luminous green and luminous yellow trim, and Aston Villa playing in their home kit. Obviously Trent Alexander-Arnold having a good game in the first leg from right back, performing well for Real Sociedad. The referees today, Mr. Baldy and his 2 assistants. And there's the Aston Villa lineup. Tuanzebe captains the team. Jan Sommer, Retsos, Coutinho, Tierney. There's a number of good players in there, including Paulo Dybala, who has been absolutely incredible for Aston Villa since he joined, firstly on loan and then permanently for his second season at the club. As the fans celebrate, there's the Champions League symbols. And it's time to get through the teams and then kick off. It's just a matter of moments away in what is such a big game. Villa Park being packed to the rims, and Sommer, Gastonville, Retsos, Tuanzebe and Tierney, Ceballos, Grealish, Havertz, Coutinho, Aguero and Dybala, and a very strong bench for Aston Villa as well. They're going to be going for it from the off to try and get those goals back. And Sociedad line up with Guvenke in goal, Arnold, Mertesacker, Artis, Stondo and Hernandez at the back, Lucasen and Zubleda in the middle, Orizabal and McKernis either side of William Jose and Juanami up front. No, Adebayor picked this week. He did score a hat-trick in the last game. He sits on the bench for Real Sociedad as the game gets underway. Aston Villa kicking us off in the Champions League in what is a decisive game for pretty much both teams. Neither team up right at the top of their tables at the moment, so Aston Villa will be hoping that they can counteract that form with a good start here at the moment, obviously coming off the back of some solid performances. Not the 3 goal scoring team that we're used to seeing Aston Villa be, as Trent Alexander-Arnold really messes up that clearance. But Aston Villa, yeah, have cut back on the attacking sense a little bit as Coutinho tries to get in behind. It's good defending in the end, but the 1-0 win against Fulham came with a good bit of play. Was solid at the back, Aston Villa, something that they've been a bit guilty of not doing under Cultured Left Foot. Been much more free flow attacking football, not really worrying about the goals conceded at the other end. As Aguero steals in early on in the game, Sergio Aguero fires Aston Villa in front on away goals, and that is a fantastic start for the villains. Sergio Aguero pouncing on the mistake at the centre back. Really poor first touch. Aguero with a left footed tackle rifles it past the goalkeeper, who had no chance. And that is 1-0 Aston Villa. And there has only been a matter of minutes gone. What's this? 5 minutes into the game. And Aston Villa already have their noses in front on away goals. And that's why those away goals are all so important. Kieran Tierney plays it up to Ceballos, but that's a good interception for Marquinhos. And Aguero looks to pounce on Estelando again, who plays it the first time, this time back to his goalkeeper. And it goes forward. Tierney wins the header, knocks it down to Jack Grealish, who's been very impressive under cultured left foot. And, you know, he's been under a bit of pressure and had some interest in him in various transfer windows, but the club have managed to keep him in and give him lots of new contracts to keep him around and keep him happy as Coutinho gets to the byline. Looks to dummy back away from Mekluanos into Gastonvide. Gastonvide lays it in. Havertz back to Grealish. Grealish gets his shot off, but it's blocked by Lucasen. And Real Sociedad bring the ball away. And Wanami's looks a little bit isolated up front. Willian Jose keeps it alive. Back to Wanami, just put under pressure by Ceballos. And Hernandez looks down the line, but that would be very easy for Retsos to cover. Obviously, Retsos and Tuanzebe back together in the centre-back partnership, and that is crucial for Aston Villa. Jonathan Tah doing a good job in the league while Retsos was suspended. However, Tuanzebe and Retsos have been partners at the back for a good number of seasons now, and their reading of the game with each other is absolutely incredible, and that will be a boost to Aston Villa, who now have the 1-goal lead and puts them ahead on the away goals rule. However, Wanami has got the wrong side of Tuanzebe. Tierney gets back in really well. And it is a corner, though, to Real Sociedad. So a possible chance of some danger here. They're putting men lined up on the 6-yard box. It's going to be thrown in towards that area, and Havertz gets up really well. And now there is a chance of a counter-attack. Dybala looks to fling it over the top first time. And Aguero's got in behind the defence. It's Sergio Aguero. First time shot. Could only hit it straight at the keeper. He does have the pace to get there before Mertesacker looks to turn. Aguero again, just trying to create a bit of space. Lays it back to Havertz, who lays it off to Gastonvide. Gastonvide to Ceballos. Winds up a shot. There it is. What a save from the goalkeeper to get down low. Dybala back to Grealish. Keeps it recycled to Tierney. It comes out to Ceballos again, who has a shot, and this one's blocked. And now Aston Villa have a chance to be countered here. Jose looks to lay it in to Marquinhos, who is forced a bit wide. Gastonvide puts a tackle in, but it's been kept in play by the Sociedad winger. And Hernandez keeps the ball. So they're trying to get a bit of possession together, but they rush that last killer ball through, and it's just not working for Real Sociedad. I think they've been a bit surprised by how quickly Aston Villa have come out of the blocks in this game, as Lucasen looks to come and pressure the ball into Ceballos. Havertz goes up into Aguero, flick round the corner to Ceballos, and Dybala's, he made him a run but just didn't get that ball. He went for Grealish instead, and it's cleared along down the middle of the pitch, and Retsos will gobble those balls up all day. Up it goes to Grealish. Jack Grealish into Aguero. He's just bullied off the ball a little bit there, Sergio Aguero. The manager will want more from him, and Retsos again gets up and wins a commanding header at the back. He is a truly wonderful defender in this Aston Villa team. He's probably going to be up there for player of the season this season for Aston Villa. Retsos, it's been obvious Aston Villa have struggled when he hasn't been here, but Juanami looks to get in behind Tuanzebe, show great pace to get back at him, forces the shot from distance, and Jan Sommer holds onto the ball and looks to build Aston Villa going forward again, but they know they don't have to rush it now, Aston Villa. They can keep the ball, wind a bit of time down. Those away goals very much coming in handy for the team from the Midlands. As that ball goes out wide to Gastonvide. He's got a bit of time, looks to play into Havertz, flicks it onto Coutinho. Coutinho just having a bit of trickery from the Brazilian. Gives it into Gastonvide. Gastonvide onto Ceballos. Up into Grealish. Dybala's held his position out wide, and that gives him a lot of space. Into the box he goes. Can he cut it back? He looks to, and there it is! Is it an own goal, or did Aguero get the final touch? It may well be Sergio Aguero, but it's 2-0. It is Aguero's goal. 2-0 Aston Villa. What a performance from the Midlands team. They are determined to get through in the Champions League. Grealish out to Dybala, who kept his position wide. The defence just seemed to forget about him. Into Aguero, little toe poke. And from that range, the little Argentinian will not miss. He's like an assassin when he gets in the box. And that is already 2 goals for Aguero, justifying his inclusion in this team ahead of Timothy Weir. And Dybala reads that pass from Alexander-Arnold really well. And Sociedad look all at seas in this game at the moment. They look like they do not know what has hit them this early on in the game. As Tierney comes forward into Grealish. Lovely back heel. Aguero lays it off to get Tierney involved again. Such a danger on that left wing. One of Coach Leftfoot's first signings when he took over at Aston Villa was Kieran Tierney, and he has been absolutely brilliant for the team, as that's a wonderful ball through into Havertz. Havertz gets a shot off, maybe should have squared it, tried to nutmeg the goalkeeper who got down low and saved it very well. So Coutinho here just saw the run of Havertz, lovely ball through from Aston Villa, maybe should have cut that back to Aguero, but it's a good save at his near post by the keeper, but it's not over yet. Coutinho's going to try and lob this one into the box. It does get away from the goalkeeper. Aguero nearly gets up above Lucassen, but Ceballos should be the first to this ball, but he's not. Willian Jose beats him to it. He puts in a tackle, and that'll be alright. They'll be happy with that. Aston Villa. It stops the play down. Slows the play down. And Willian Jose looks to go up the line again. Dybala can't keep that one in, and looks like Sociedad are just working the width at the moment, trying to play wide and create a bit of space. They've got it all to do now, needing 2 goals to go through in this game and give them that goal advantage again, as Juanmi looks to accelerate away from Tuanzebe. Tuanzebe has been working on his pace in training, and it is really showing there, really using good acceleration to get back at the ball. Aston Villa. Up it goes to Havertz, just logs it off. Ceballos finds himself in quite a lot of time. Either-footed, Dani Ceballos lays it out to Aston Villa with his left foot. Up it goes to Coutinho, back to Aston Villa. Lays it through to Coutinho again. This is some wonderful flowing football. Tries to put it in. Mertesacker should win that one and does. Havertz tries to knock it back to Ceballos, but he gets the header wrong. Juanmi is then brought down by Ceballos, and I think they'll take a free kick like that on the halfway line. That's not going to trouble Aston Villa. A bit of a professional foul from Dani Ceballos. They look to dink it over the top. Havertz picks up the rebound, and Hernandez has left his space wandering forward, but Coutinho couldn't get the ball under control, and Gouvenc goes long. Tuanzebe wins the header at the back this time for Aston Villa. Ceballos just caught on his toes a little bit, slides into a tackle again, needs to be a little bit more conservative with his defending. Dani Ceballos really fires in. Aston Villa pounces on that, sees the run of Aguero as well. Aguero could be in. Oh, it's a great tackle from Igor Zubaya. Really had to get that right, or that could have been a red card as being the last man. But Dybala wins it back, plays it through to Havertz. Havertz, cheeky little back heel. Coutinho looks to fling it in towards Aguero with a header. And Gouvenc makes an easy catch. And, of course, there's a lot riding on this for Sociedad as well. As you mentioned, not doing the best in their league, not near the top, not even in the Champions League places when we looked at the analysis. And that's a great ball through from Grealish. Dybala looks to feed it in. Oh, that was nearly a very poor clearance there from Lucassen. And the goalkeeper and Lucassen getting each other's way as well. And Sociedad all over the place in this first half as it finishes 2-0. 2 goals for Aguero. A great performance so far from the Midlands team, restricting Sociedad to 1 shot on target in 1 shot in the game. No changes at half time. Let's get into the second half. So Sociedad get the second half underway from kicking left to right in their grey kit with a luminous green trim. And Aston Villa are looking to repeat the feats of the first half, taking a 2-0 advantage at the 45-minute mark. Playing at home in front of a fervent crowd and attendance here. Fully packed Villa Park is something that teams do not relish when they get here, and Real Sociedad are finding that out for themselves as Tuanzebe gets drawn out of his centre-back position but puts in a good tackle to win the ball. He'll just sprint back to his correct position now. Grealish tries to intercept that throw and does very, very well. Just lays it off into Jan Sommer, who again has been... His position was under threat earlier on in the season, but he managed to keep away the competition of Farinez, who then eventually just got sold and wasn't happy not playing the first team football you would imagine he was told he would have when he was brought in. Jan Sommer showing that age is no issue in this Aston Villa team, as that's a good ball up. Looking for Grealish, who just couldn't get there. And it's all about keeping shape now for Aston Villa. Trying not to get pulled out of position as Grealish looks to pressure Alexander-Arnold, who just goes around his pretty feeble tackle. Alexander-Arnold has been kept quiet. He was a marauding presence in the first leg. As they look to put Juanmi in here. He shoots early, and that's easy for a goalkeeper of Jan Sommer's quality. It's going to have to be a much better shot than that to put that away. And Tierney has gone for a very direct ball through to Aguero. The goalkeeper comes out and judges it very well. And then Aston Villa wins the header. Havertz, nice flick with the heel into Ceballos. He gets it back to Havertz. Havertz tries to feed in Aguero, but Mertesacker reads it, and David Concha has taken a very horrible touch there. Havertz puts it in. Aguero looking for that hat-trick. It's a good block on the shot, and that will be a corner to Aston Villa. Fed through into Aguero's path. This not the first time didn't work, but the second time it did from Havertz. Took a snapshot early. It was a good block from Lucassen, the midfielder. And let's see what Aston Villa can do with this set piece now. Two runners come towards Coutinho. Takes Mertesacker out of the middle, which means he's got a free run at the back post. But Giovenk makes a very good catch. For a goalkeeper that hasn't really impressed in this game, he's caught that one very well. And our Real Sociedad missing the height and the strength of Emmanuel Adebayor, scoring a hat-trick in the first leg and then inexplicably dropped for the second leg. It's starting to backfire a bit on the Sociedad manager. One would assume he's going to be in for quite a lot of flack from the media and the supporters for that one. Grealish, with a vision to see Coutinho out wide on the right-hand side. The Brazilian keeps it in play. Coutinho looks to dink it in up towards Aguero. Hernandez gets a good header on it. And this is going to fall to Gaston Villa, who for some reason hits a left-footed shot. Thank you, Pro Evo, for that one. Setting up nicely for a right-footed right-back to absolutely spank it. And that's not what he did. Wanami, great ball round the corner to Rezabal. Into Willian Jose, looked offside, but he must have been just on. What a challenge that is from Gaston Villa. That is an absolutely fantastic tackle. Havertz up to Coutinho. And now the counter-attack is on. Coutinho looks to get away, spins past two. Nice back heel into Havertz. Plays it back to Coutinho. Coutinho just turned slightly too long on the ball. And that attack is over. This game is going end to end. And Wanami could be in. Retsos has got to use all of his energy to get back at him. Wanami, is he fouled? No, Retsos showing good strength according to the referee. And again, that's a dangerous one because if that's a foul there, that's a red card. Havertz into Dybala. Knocks it back to Grealish, but it's just overhit and behind him. And again, the end-to-end nature of this game continues going as Retsos has to get back in position. But they found Willian Jose with a through ball shot from range. Not really troubling Jan Sommer at all. So Aston Villa blink first in the substitution game and Gareth Bale comes on to replace Philippe Coutinho, who has been pretty effective in this game. So it's an interesting tactical switch from cultured left foot. No sign of an injury, just a complete tactical change. Ceballos fires a ball out left looking for Dybala, who does get there. Puts in a first-time cross looking for Aguero. And that was an interesting manoeuvre that from Aston Villa. Ceballos flicks it on once more to Gaston Villa. The ball's overhit. And the Sociedad players just pump it long. And it's just recycling possession into Aston Villa's hands. Gaston Villa into Havertz. Havertz looks to flick it in. Grealish with a rifle shot. Unfortunately, straight down the throat of Giovenk, who isn't hanging around getting on with this game. Up it goes. Back to Trent Alexander-Arnold. Just inside to Willian Jose. Lovely ball through to David Concha. Tuanzebe again has had to come out and makes a great recovery tackle, but it's been given away by Gaston Willian Jose. Gareth Bale back defending very well indeed. Fresh legs proving their worth in this game as Ceballos is striding forward here. He's waiting for options to it looks like, to be honest. And Dybala's in. Can he get a shot off? It's blocked. Is that a corner? It came off last off Dybala, who is not happy about that decision. And here comes Emmanuel Adebayor, the hat-trick goal scorer in the first leg. Adebayor is on to replace Willian Jose. Is he going to have the impact that the Sociedad fans hope he can have, and that he did have in the first leg? He does win his first aerial battle, which is more than Willian Jose did in the whole game while he was on. As they put it out wide to Hernandez. He's been asked a lot to get on the end of that, and he can't reach it. Gaston Villa picks it up and it goes out all the way to the left of Tierney, who sees Dybala in front of him in a lot of space. Drills a ball into his path. Dybala back heel to Grealish. Turns into trouble, which wasn't sensible by the villain player of the year last 4 years or 5 years, we'll say, as Bale nips in, pounces, but the referee's given a foul. Lucassen getting very lucky and flicks it on. Concha is there. Retsos wins the ball up to Ceballos. Ceballos sees the run of Bale. Gareth Bale is out wide, pulling Aritz Astondo into his path. Good turn. Good turn. And tries to feed it into Havertz. Havertz back heel looking for Aguero, but Mertesacker got what can only be described as a very lucky touch on that ball. And again, Giovenk in goal, not hanging around. Alexander-Arnold put under pressure, but gets his out of the attention of the pressing defence, as Ceballos is just going to fall back into a more defensive position. Gaston Villa hoping to hold up Concha, and does. Adebayor puts in Juanabi, but Tierney has the pace and the wherewithal to get back and intercept that pass. Sommer goes long. Bale flicks it infield to Havertz. Havertz tries to put in Aguero first time. He wasn't expecting it. And it's very, very easy for the Sociedad defence to mop that one up. Adebayor again wins an aerial challenge, proving more effective than Willian Jose, and Retsos is caught on the ball by Juanmi. Back to Adebayor. Out it goes towards Hernandez. Gastonville slides in, wins the tackle, but the ref's given a foul. Very bizarre that, to give a foul there, as it's taken early and poorly by Sociedad. You can tell they're in a rush. They are messing up the simple things to do as Havertz looks to put in Aguero, but Mertesacker just got back and just put in a good interception for that ball through, as Tuanzebe finally wins an aerial duel against Adebayor. Grealish picks it up and comes forward, looks for the run of Aguero, but uses him as a dummy and goes towards Dybala. Dybala gets his shot off and it just goes past the post. So Jack Grealish has pulled up with a hamstring injury and his board, the subs board, is up with his number, and he will be off and replaced by Ilkay Gundogan after picking up that injury. So Cultured left foot making 2 subs, one tactical in replacing Coutinho with Gareth Bale, and the other enforced by taking off Jack Grealish for Ilkay Gundogan. And here is Ceballos. Up it goes to Havertz. Havertz comes forward, lots of space, tries to feed it through into Aguero. Mertesacker again with a wonderful interception. And Aston Villa players are looking pretty tired now. The early press and the flying out of the box start that they had in the first half appears to be taking a toll, as Rodriguez powers his way through Gastonville's poor limp challenge into Adebayor. Tuanzebe with a very good tackle. It falls again to Rodriguez though. Takes his time. Retsos makes a good challenge. And it goes out for a Sociedad throw-in. 53% possession to Aston Villa. Concha chests that down. Tuanzebe just shadowing him, not diving in. Retsos comes in, makes a tackle. Juanmi gets up and heads that past the post. But I think the referee's brought it back for a late challenge. And there's a bit of a flare-up here. Retsos is getting involved. The referee, I don't think, is going to take any further action. I think it was just a late challenge going for the ball. It was. Just stood on his toe and on his ankle. And Retsos gets a talking to. Shots on target, 5 shots, 4 on target for Aguero. And that's bounced all the way through and falls into Sommer's hands, very luckily, who is keen to get this game going straight from the off. Gareth Bale, and Aston Villa are flowing men forward here, and Bale just overruns it. And it's a good tackle on him. And with 2 minutes to go, you would say it looks like Aston Villa are going through to the Champions League quarter-finals, which is quite an achievement, as Tierney gives that ball away to Oyarzabal, who keeps it in play well with a bit of footwork. He does win a foul, but the referee plays advantage, puts it up to Adebayor. Juanmi heads the ball down into Trent Alexander-Arnold. Adebayor's got in behind, but he's offside. A good line held by Aston Villa. A few further fresh legs on for Aston Villa. Dybala puts in a good shift and is replaced by Timothy Weir for the final 2 minutes of injury time in this game, as Gastonville comes forward with it. No real pressure on him. Into Havertz. Havertz tries to flick it into the path of Aguero. Aguero just looks to turn. And what can he do here? Aguero looks to lay it in. It's going to fall to Juanmi, but there's the final whistle. 2 goals from Sergio Aguero is enough to see Aston Villa through into the next round of the Champions League. A truly wonderful performance from the Villains. And it was all thanks to Sergio Aguero nicking his goal early doors there. What a finish that was, as he rifled it in, running off celebrating like Alan Shearer back in the day. And it was all the mistake. Mertesacker played it across his goal, which was fine. The defender took a heavy touch. Aguero pounced. He got in behind, and the goalkeeper, when it gets to this situation, has absolutely no chance. 2-0 Aston Villa. A wonderful, wonderful performance. And it was a pleasure having you with us. Let's see who Aston Villa draw in the next round. Is it going to be a big gun, or are they going to get a relative minnow in the Champions League? Other teams going through: Bayer Leverkusen going through 4-2 on aggregate against Lokomotiva Moscow. Man City winning 2-0 against Monaco. Tottenham Hotspur going through 6-4 against Marseille. Barcelona knocking out PSG 4-2. Aston Villa obviously beating Sociedad 5-4 on aggregate. Real Madrid beating Feyenoord 5-2. FC Bayern beating Anderlecht 3-1. And Ajax beating Man United. So some big fallers in that, but a lot of the usual teams you'd expect to see as well going through to the next stages, which is the next game we'll be back for. And we'll go and find out who we have got in the quarter-finals of the Champions League, as this gets very, very tense. We will be playing Barcelona. What a big game that is. Coutinho going back to his old club. And it's only going to be 1 game away. So we'll be back for that quarter-final first leg against Barcelona. Thank you so much for watching. See you then.